This is Kyle Juszczyk. This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks a third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle. Swings down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and he's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the flat to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
San Francisco 49ers. We're going to do it right here. Yeah, huh? Boom! What's going on, Facebook? This is Jordan back from Nothing But Niners crew. Guys, we are back. I promise you guys a special guest on this episode. He is right here to my right. My man Eric Crocker is in the building, man. We got some things to argue about. Something, maybe not argue, maybe not to argue. Some things to discuss.
Have a discussion. Debate.
Yeah. It's going to be a nice, friendly discussion. I'm going to run through these formalities really quick. I'll get to Eric Crocker. We should have Tony joining soon, our resident GM. We're going to have a really, really fun discussion here. But, guys, listen, if this is your first time here and you're catching the show for the first time ever, I don't know what brought you here, but I thank you guys, all right? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do me a favor. Turn on your notifications because you never know when we're going live. We bring you guys impromptu shows, breaking news videos, and things like that. Sometimes I'm sitting around and I'm just bored. It's a nice day. I'm outside in the backyard. I'm bored, and I just want to talk to the faithful. So that's why it's important to have your notifications turned on. Make sure you do that. All right. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Those handles are all the same. They are Nothing But 9. That is the number 9. Nothing But 9 ERS. All right, so make sure you get on over there, all three of them, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. We live. It's going down. Make sure you guys are there. Don't be the last ones to join. And definitely don't miss out on our Facebook and our Twitch channels. Every show is live on Twitch. I don't really know what else Twitch is for. I'll be honest with you guys, man. I don't know how to use that shit. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what Twitch is for, but we got one. And we're live on Twitch right now. So shout out to the Twitch community. You guys leave your comments, leave your chats and all that stuff there. But Facebook is absolutely our biggest community, man. Last time I checked, it was over 20,000 strong over on our Facebook community. So guys, get on over there, be active in the community, piss people off, start some arguments, all that good stuff. I'm entertained by it. As long as you're respectful to your fellow faithful, I'm okay with it. So get on over there to the Facebook page, okay? Patreon, man. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Complete moment of clarity right now. All right. I'm going to zoom in. I want y'all to know that what I'm telling you is real. Okay. Where's my zoom at? There's my zoom. There it is. I'm going to look y'all in the eyes and tell y'all the God's honest truth. In the last 2 weeks, there have been more episodes on Patreon than there has been on Nothing But Niners on the YouTube page. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it like that on purpose. It's just the way it is, guys. So I apologize about that. Head on over there to patreon.com/NB9ERS. I don't have anybody filtering me. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to offend somebody else that's on the show or anything like that. I just get to be me, be real, be raw, and tell you guys that I think the Niners be tripping sometimes, or the Niners don't do enough, or the person that I be doing shows with just be bugging and I couldn't get a word out, so I had to go over there and vent. Like it's that's what the Patreon is for. So head on over there, guys, patreon.com/NB9ERS. If you have questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for the shows, you want to leave us some feedback or something like that, I'm all for it, man. I promise you guys that we are nothing without the faithful. So if you guys have any kind of feedback, send me an email, nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. It comes directly to my cell phone. There is no mistakes about that at all. Okay, so make sure you guys send them on over. I'm your guy, Mike Andrews. You guys see the handle right here below. It's Mike Andrews 83. To my right, he's my guy, Eric Crocker. What's going on, baby? How you doing, man?
What's good, man? I'm chilling.
Man, y'all, you just got off recording your other episode over there. Now, did y'all do it live? How do y'all determine which ones you do live and which ones y'all just do for production and send out?
It's pretty random. Just some nights. Typically, I would say Sundays and Thursdays we typically go live. So,
Okay.
there's no like reason behind it. It's just we just go live on Thursdays and Sundays.
Okay. All right, cool. So tonight was a live episode?
Tonight was a live episode. Yes.
Now, when you go live, right? If you pull up your YouTube in a separate window right now, right? And you see like, oh, Nothing But Niners is live God damn, my mind is like really, really messed up right now. God, man, don't tell me, because like this is really bad. I can't get the words I'm looking for. So like if you open up your YouTube, it'll say Nothing But Niners is live right now, right? Or it'll say Eric Crocker is live right now, or it'll say you and BD Peacock. God,
Locked on 49ers.
Locked on. God, I could not. Everything in me wanted to say believe in, but I knew that wasn't the right one.
We are not the Believe Network.
I know. My bad. My apologies, right? But it'll say Locked On 49ers is live right now. When you do that, do you go to your personal one and share it?
No, I don't. I can do that.
So, all right. So we're going to do a tester right now, right? So in your browser, open up your YouTube page. Now, whatever page you're logged on in as, if you are subscribed to Nothing But Niners or Locked On or whatever, you'll see that they just did a show and you look at your subscribers list, right?
Okay, hold on.
And then you can actually hit the share button and it posts them being live to your channel. So now your viewers know that the other channel is actually live. And he's saying he's never done this before. See, look, I'm all about spreading the love. No, Mike is not okay, guys. I've had a long day. I see the comment in there. Can you dig it? No, I'm not okay. My brain was really froze. I couldn't get locked on. Everything was saying believe in, and they haven't done a show in months. That's the crazy part. Like it's not. I don't know what it is. Look at that. Do I have Eric Crocker and Eric Davis on the same level in my mind? That's crazy. I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah,
it's the Eric thing.
Hold on, see.
Oh, so he not subscribed. So if you look to on the left of your screen,
it's kind of weird though, because it's really weird how my stuff is set up. Like when I go to YouTube, it's under a totally different account, and then I have to switch to my main account for some reason that I use. But then if I like try to go to YouTube, then it switches me back to the other one that I'm not.
Yes,
like,
no, I'm there. I got 6 different ones.
Really
So it always sends me to my default one. I got 6 different ones. Then I got to switch it back and all that stuff, and then I can see who I'm subscribed to.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you can share. Like, I'm not asking you to do it right now, so I don't want you to do it. But when y'all go live on your Locked On, log into your YouTube for your Eric Crocker one, right? For your
and share one that I'm with. Okay, gotcha.
And then when you hit share, it'll let you create a post. It said you can post it on your Twitter. It'll say create a post, and then it shares it to your YouTube community. Just like that.
Okay. Oh, that's
and
dope.
if you got the Locked On, all right, here's a little secret. If you got the Locked On login on your computer,
which I do,
right? When you go live on your Eric Crocker one, open up from the Locked On page and share
from there that I'm
your
live
Eric Crocker one, and now boom, you merging them, and that's what I do. So when I see that my people are on, I go to their pages, I hit share real quick, and I'm letting my Nothing But Niners followers know that this show is on right now, and they can watch it also. And that's spreading the love. That's all that is. That's spreading the love. That's spreading the love. So look, man, we here, man. So I was doing one of my Patreon clips earlier today. I called you. I called Wayne Breezy. I called our resident GM and Tony. I called Jason Aponte. Right. I called you guys and I asked you guys a very, very specific question. We're gonna start with this right now. We're just gonna go ahead and get this out the way. All right. And the question was, if Twitter exploded with breaking news and it said that the 49ers traded up to the bottom of the second round, what position would you assume they traded up for and why?
And do you want me to tell them what my response was, or are you going to?
Well, All right, yeah. Let's start with yours. Go ahead. Go ahead and give us the why. Go ahead and give us what position you thought it was, and then we'll break down the why. Yeah, go ahead.
My response was receiver. And I know
Now,
that's a little bit more shocking. Well, go ahead.
That's kind of wild, right? Like the receipt, we got Debo, we got Ayuk, right? And thank you, baby. Ayuk is like that guy, right? Yeah, I think he had a better receiving year than Debo did. I don't know what Debo's final yards were, but I don't think Debo broke 1K this year. Ayuk did, right? And Ayuk wasn't even the targeted guy all season long. He posted that tweet about being the fourth target in the run first system, and I still got 1K. Like, you know, like they got to smell me out here. Like he patting himself on the chest. And yet he's under contract this year. We have his rights for next year if we want him. Debo's under contract for this year and next year if we want him. Now we did sign Juwan Jennings to the 1 year little floater. We just drafted Danny Gray. What's your resentment towards the receiving room, man? It sounds like a little bit of hate. What's going on, bro?
It's not so much hate or resentment. Obviously, I think the guys are all terrific receivers in their own right. They have different strengths. You know, I think when you look at Deebo Samuel, he's a guy who just finds different ways to get the ball in his hands. Look at Brandon Ayuk. I think there are a lot of people that call him wide receiver 1, even though I still think it's Deebo Samuel. But in the sense of, I think what they're saying is he's wide receiver 1 because he's the most pure receiver, which I understand that. But like he said, I'm the fourth option in this offense, and he is. So when you look at it from that perspective, and then you're talking about trading up into the second round, and this was the part that made more sense for me. The way I view a lot of things is from a value standpoint. And when I look at these other positions, cornerback, edge rusher, left tackle, those are definitely much more pressing needs for the 49ers than a receiver is, by far. But it is very hard, if you look around the league, if you look at all pro teams, if you look at that, to hit on a late second round cornerback, tackle, and cornerback. It's just rare. The guys that are typically year in and year out great at those positions, tackle, corner, and edge, they go first round. So for me, if I go, and again, I know 49ers drafted Drake Jackson, and we'll see. But right now, as you can see, everybody wants edge, and they just drafted somebody second round at edge. But that just goes to show you how there is a drastic drop-off in the value of that position, in those positions, the later in the draft that you get, even late second round. But receiver, to me, that's the one where it's almost like the safest position to where you can strike gold on a receiver in the second round. And we see it all the time. Not just 1 year, not just one guy, right? Like I could point to Mason Crosby, who was a 4th round pick, and he's an amazing edge rusher, one of the best in the league. But I mean, between Mason Crosby and any other edge rusher that you've ever heard of in the 4th round that's like legit or all pro, I mean, is he the only all pro 4th round edge rusher like in the last 20 years? So, but at the receiver position, you see second round picks be great all the time at that position. So for me, it was either between linebacker, receiver, or tight end. And I just think there's so much value. It's so easy to hit on receivers. So that would be the position. If I'm going to trade up for one guy and I want to make sure, guarantee I get the most value out of this guy, it would definitely be a receiver. And that was just kind of my thinking behind it.
Right. Now,
and I thought about it quick while I was taking a shower. So
no, and you got back to me real quick and everything, and I do appreciate that, right? Like the purpose of the episode that I was doing was that I was frustrated because I can't tell what the Niners' top priority is in this draft. I have no idea. Now, we have 3 out of 4 picks in a row, but we have to wait till number 99 to get there. And so I don't really care which position we take first, right? Like all 4 picks are likely to be on the board. Like if they get to 99, they're good with the next 3 picks. Like I know that they're gonna know what they want to do. But my issue was
hopefully, because didn't they just have, I mean, how many picks in the 3rd round last year? And they drafted Tyler Price and Danny Gray. And I mean, you get rookies. And I know Kyle, you know, he can kind of get a little weird with rookies sometimes, but how much did those guys play? And it felt like he didn't want to play.
I don't think he got weird. I don't think he got weird at all. I think Kyle and this not just Kyle. I think the team. So all right, we have to really take an honest and earnest step back here, right? In 2017, when they took over, it was literally the worst roster in the NFL.
Correct.
So every draft pick was going to make the roster because there was a mass exodus of other players. Right. The next year,
Kendrick
the same
Bourne,
thing
Trent Taylor, like those guys were going to play.
Right. They didn't bring back Jeremy Curley, who was the team's leading receiver the previous season. Right? They just said, no, we can find better than that in the draft. We can get other guys in here for that. We're going to go out and get a guy like Pierre Garçon. We're going to draft guys, right? They did those kind of things, and they were content with that, right? So when you have a draft class and everybody makes it and everybody contributes, that means you likely had a bad roster. But what happens when you have a good team or a stacked team? You got 11 picks, you'll be lucky if 4 of them make it. You'll be lucky if 4 of those players sincerely contribute in their rookie seasons. Like, and I think lucky might be a stretch. That's where the Niners are right now.
Mike, yes, that's where they are. But we're talking about 2nd and 3rd round picks. Like those guys, no matter how good your team is, they usually play. Like they did not want to play Danny Gray. He had 1 catch on the year.
He was a late 3rd round guy.
Ty Davis Price, and again, for whatever reason, Mason got more love than him. Wasn't even close.
Okay, now that part is true. But that's the running back.
Drake Jackson, they started off playing him. He played more early on. Then they said, we're not going to deal with whatever it is that you're going through. So you're just going to be a healthy scratcher, inactive.
What was their reasoning behind that? They said that we were going to be playing more teams that are going to try to run the ball against us.
So you make him inactive? Right. Your 2nd round pick, inactive.
Because they needed more defensive tackles up. That's what they that was not my words. I'm just telling what they said. And then they tried to say that
that's not what he said,
under him. They said his legs weren't under him. He wasn't used to playing the long season.
Yeah, that's what they said. He wasn't strong enough, need to get stronger, all these things. But ultimately, what they're saying is, we're cool. Not good enough.
See, that's where I disagree. Through like 6 games, my man had 5 sacks. What else you want from him?
3, but who's counting?
Nah, he had more than 3 sacks on the year.
Yeah, he had 3. I think he had 3 on the season. But he had 3 right away. He did.
It was through 5 games he had 3 sacks. That's what it was.
And then he kind of tapered off a little bit, which could be true. But the thing with Kyle, and we've seen this, and we know this about him, he is not about, at this stage of where the 49ers are, going through the necessary lumps for a lot of young guys. Look at Womack. Womack played first 2 games, and I would say most of us say, man, Samuel Womack, he's doing cool. 3rd game, he wasn't in there. It's like, wait, where's Womack? Wait, what? DeAndre Lenore starting in the slot? What happened with Womack? I don't even know what he did wrong. Now I've heard different things. I remember Richard Sherman said something about run fits and stuff. I don't know. But I know one thing. Whatever it was, I didn't notice it, so it couldn't have been like the worst thing ever. And it just wasn't in there. They have 0 tolerance for these young guys that actually kind of need to go through that. Even with Spencer Burford. Like, Spencer Burford, it was like, we're going to rotate you with Daniel Brunskill. Like, what? I've never seen that. They rotate him like it was like college, like a senior, and it's like you got the junior who you want to start, but then the senior, and it's like, well, you're kind of insurance, but we're going to play you, and we're going to take this guy out sometimes, and then we're going to put you. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
See, all right, I like everything you're saying because I like to pride myself on thinking outside the box, and I think I see the Niners playing. You're gonna think I'm crazy, so let me walk you through it, okay?
Yeah.
Last year at the draft, not last year, the year before, during the draft, who was our 2nd round pick?
Drake
Aaron
Jackson.
Banks. No,
you're talking about the year before.
Yeah, the year before. It was Aaron Banks, right? And everybody called that man a bust. Aaron Banks couldn't beat out the right guard. He's a bust. We need to move on from him. He's not a fit. Remember,
but when you say everybody, who are you talking about? Are you just talking about like
the masses on social media? How's that?
You're talking about.
You and BD too. Y'all said that he wasn't a fit. Y'all didn't get it.
No, I said when he was drafted that he was not a fit.
Yes, that's what I'm
saying.
And
he wasn't. Like, he did not play.
Wait, and that's where I want to stop you. Not a fit and did not play they're not the same. And that's what I want to get to.
They are the same in that scenario. Do you know why? See, now it's kind of an argument, but it's a debate. But this is why. Yeah, and I'm gonna challenge you, Mike. I'm
gonna push back, but I'm gonna give you the floor.
When you are drafted in this 2nd round, and I said this in the text, right? I was like, in those rounds, or what I said receivers, interior offensive linemen, linebackers, right? Like, so in that round, in the second round, like typically they draft you there, they want you to play. We're drafting you. You don't draft a guard in the second round and be like, we're just gonna redshirt you. No, what I saw in film, it's like, bro, y'all lied to us. You said he was athletic, you said all these things. I watched the film. And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And so one thing about Kyle, which I love, he is brutally honest with all of his players. He's brutally honest with Ayuk. Even when he came out and said, if we would have had healthier receivers, Ayuk wouldn't have played as much as a rookie, right? He's brutally honest with really all of his players. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, he doesn't want to play you. And I think he was very brutally honest probably with Aaron Banks. And Aaron Banks was smart enough to take it as a challenge. And, hey, the things that you believe I need to work on, I'm going to bust my ass this offseason and improve on all of those things. And I think he did. And he had a terrific season. So one thing about me, if I make a statement on a guy, I'll be the first to tell you, I will not tell anybody what someone will be. Look, I don't know what they're going to be. I'll tell you where they are right now. And I know when I watched Aaron Banks, when I evaluated his college film, I did not think he was a fit for the 49ers offense. And he did not play. And he had to change. And he did. They talked about him changing his body. He had to be able to move better, like all those things. And he did it. And that is kudos to him. And I hope that everybody else that Brandon Ayuk, I just watched clips on, shout out to my guy, Brad Graham, and he posted a clip of Brandon Ayuk like muscling a Arizona Cardinal, or it was some linebacker to the ground and then getting over him, right? And I'm like, got that dog in him. And it's like, yeah, like I feel like when Kyle challenged him, like that's part of him taking on the challenge, right? Like answering the call. And some of the guys can't do that. Some of the guys can't do that. But clearly Aaron Banks did. So he didn't play as a rookie. He wasn't good enough. He just wasn't.
All right, so this is where my pushback comes from, right? I know you and all the draft guys who go heavy in it, the film watchers, right? Y'all go in and see what you see on a regular basis and try to apply the regular basis to fitting in the current system. But that's not, in my opinion, what the draft is for. The draft is for looking at the flashes and making the flashes a regular. Okay? Now, just hear me out. They picked Aaron Banks, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong here. They picked Aaron Banks to be the heir apparent for Laken Tomlinson. They never really wanted him to be the right guard because he played on the left side in college, right? True or false? Just tell me true or false.
False! You are not drafting a guard in the second round, and your plans are to redshirt him because you have Laken Tomlinson. No way! I'm not believing that.
Where did he play in college?
He did play left guard.
Okay. So just follow me for a second.
Where did Spencer Burford play? He didn't play right guard. He played left tackle.
Right, but hear me out. Please, we're gonna get there. I promise you. I'm gonna slow walk you there. But you got to go on this journey with me, right? Aaron Banks was a left guard in college. Laken Tomlinson was on his last year when we drafted him, right? We'll see if we can bump you to right guard. Hey, you didn't get it. Cool. In the meantime, this is what we want you to work on, right? But if you look at the flashes, if you look at his phenomenal plays on tape, it's what we saw all year long at him playing left guard next to Trent Williams, right? If you take his highlight reel, that's what Aaron Banks looked like on a regular basis playing next to Trent Williams. Do you agree with me still so far? The highlights.
To be honest, there's no player on the 49ers where I watched their highlights. So I couldn't even tell you what his highlights look like.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you then. I'm gonna bring Tony in.
I know this. When they drafted him and the way they talked about him, and I'm talking about like Mayock and whoever I was watching live, and they're talking about him, right? When they drafted him and they're talking about him, the things that they said about Aaron Banks, I didn't see it in him, even in his highlights, but I did see it in Creed Humphrey. When Creed Humphrey drafted, I'm like, damn, why the 49ers draft this guy? Because everything that they're saying about this Creed Humphrey guy, that looks like Aaron Banks. That was before, everything they're saying about Aaron Banks, it looks like that's what Creed Humphrey's doing. And that was before I watched anything on Aaron Banks.
So here's my crazy logic. All right. We had a Super Bowl team. We had a playoff team before these guys started coming in, right? 2019, the team was in the Super Bowl. All right.
Yes.
So you got a good roster already. We've seen it. The weakness at that time was the quarterback position. Now it's about replacing guys that are on their way out the door that you can no longer afford. I want to focus on Aaron Banks for a reason, right? I'm going to look at your film. I'm going to see what you did well. I'm going to see what you did regularly, and I'm going to see what you didn't do well. If I can get you to do the things that you did well all the time and regularly, then we struck gold. To me, that's what the draft is for. The draft is all about potential. No team out there should draft somebody and think that they're a finished product when they step on the field day one.
Definitely.
Nobody should think that.
Correct.
Right? So if you're going out there and you get a guy like Aaron Banks, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity. Let's see if you can beat out who the current right guard is. But if you don't, that's not really why we got you. We know that Lincoln is on his last season. We want you to get ready to take over for him. Once you get a good roster, this wasn't the 2017 roster anymore. This was the 2019 Super Bowl roster, right? We got guys here. We know we can be good already. So now what we want to do is see if you can replace the guy when it's time for him to go. We're going to draft you. We're going to see if we can plug you in. But if we can't, hey, it's okay.
But why wouldn't they be able to plug him in?
Why wouldn't they? If Aaron Banks was good enough to beat out, who was our right guard? Was it Colton?
Daniel Brunskill.
Brunskill. If Aaron Banks was good enough to beat out Brunskill consistently, then cool, we'll put him in there. But I'll tell you why he couldn't beat him out. He went from the left to the right. He was never going to beat out Lincoln. That was never his job. His job was never to beat out Lincoln Tomlinson. Not one time was that the expectation. But if you can beat out Brunskill, cool, we'll put you in. If you can't, hey, don't worry about it. We got you.
But why wouldn't he be able to beat out Brunskill?
Because it's the left to the right. It's the footing. It's the hand movements and all that stuff. I don't know. But we can't experiment with that when we already have a Super Bowl bound team. Does it make it? I'm not asking if you agree with me, but does what I'm saying make sense so far?
No, it makes sense, and I've heard someone else say that as well. As, he was a left guard, and then he can't. And it's like at the end of the day, if you're at guard, because again, there's value. That's how I look at it. Everything has a value to it, and the value of drafting a guard in the second round, you have more of an expectation, at least I do, of you to play. Just kind of like a linebacker. If you draft a linebacker in the second round, like I expect that linebacker to be on the field.
No drafted player is going to be judged off of their first year. I don't care if you're a first-round player. The first year ain't it.
We're not finished. Like not as a finished product. Like I didn't even think he was a finished product. I just, hey, he better get his stuff together, and he got things to work on. Right. Danny Gray. I told people when he was coming out of college. Now this is not me like pounding my chest, but I was like, hey, this dude got some things he really needs to work on.
Yes, sir.
Right. Like it was. There were a lot of red flags in his film. And again, I don't watch highlights, so I didn't see the highlights. But watching his film, there were a lot of red flags for him to be like consistently good, and he didn't play. But my thing isn't, oh man, Danny Gray, he's just never gonna work out for the 49ers. Like no, but hey man, you got to work on being able to utilize the threat of your speed on vertical routes to free you up on underneath routes, so that you can be more consistent and well-rounded. And if he does those things this offseason and really works on that, then yeah, he could be a terrific receiver and really be able to take advantage of the 4.3 speed that he has. And there are a lot of people like, oh, well, he was a Lance guy. Like, no, they like the receiver, and he just has things that he needs to work on so he can be more consistent.
The short way of me trying to say what I'm saying is this. When you have a bad roster, your drafted players will play sooner. When you have a really good roster, those guys are depth pieces and replacement pieces. And that's what it's all about. If you believe in your coaching staff, if you believe in player development, we're going to develop this guy to be a replacement guy for the guy that we're about to lose to free agency. And that's exactly that's where the Niners are now. That's where they've been the last 2 or 3 drafts.
Yes, but at the end of the day, again, value, everything value. Second round, you are drafting guys that you feel like can come in and play.
No, because let me ask you this question. How
okay,
many
what other second round pick that the 49ers have that you didn't see him on the field right away?
We haven't had any. What do you mean?
Deebo Samuel?
That's what I'm saying. We were a bad team then. We had to trade for Emmanuel Sanders that same season. We didn't have good wide receivers.
All right,
that's my point. There were holes. There had some holes.
Hold on. But Marquise Goodwin, was he coming off of a 1,000-yard season that year? I don't know. Or close to 1,000.
996. Not 1,000 yards. 996, and that was with us force feeding him the ball.
Okay.
We didn't have anybody else, bro.
All right, here we go.
Pierre Garçon got hurt in week 8. He was on.
Well, then it's hard to say because, it flipped really fast. It's like you went from, you did draft Dante Pettis, you did draft some of these guys, and like a Reuben Foster who you traded up into the first round to get him using a second round pick, right? And he was out there right away. So it's kind of hard to because the 49ers kind of went from rags to riches pretty fast.
Because the roster was bad when they did all that. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. When you have a bad roster, those draft picks are expected to do more. When you have a good roster, hey, we want to get these guys here. We want to coach them up. And
was the roster bad? Like 2018.
All right, so
or was it a Jimmy Garoppolo injury? And I'm not saying it was great. I'm not saying that.
So the 2018 draft, their second year here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Their second year here is when Jimmy Garoppolo got injured in week 2 against Kansas City.
Correct. Was the roster bad?
Yes, it was still bad. Yes, absolutely, it was still bad.
They needed edge rushers. But I think that was kind of it, though. Right, like if you look at from 2018 to 2019, what was the biggest difference?
They needed edge
where
rushers.
did they add? They did add Debo, and they added a couple of edges.
They needed
Quan Alexander.
They needed a linebacker. They needed edge rushers. They needed a wide receiver still. That's why they went out and got Debo. That's exactly why they went out and got Debo. They needed offensive linemen then too.
D Ford.
We didn't have a center still, right? They were getting ready to move on from what's the defensive lineman's name?
They did when they signed Mitch Richburg, whatever his name is.
Weston Richburg, but he was always injured. They knew they couldn't depend on him. Tony, take yourself off mute. Like somebody out there is going to understand.
There's all kind of, but look, every year you look at the roster right now, and you could go through and do that. Oh, but they don't got a cornerback. Oh, well, they don't got a third linebacker. There's no edge opposite of Nick Bosa right now. Like, you can do that same thing. The issue is we just seen them win like that, so it hasn't mattered as much.
But that's kind of my point, what you just said. I think I disagree with the end of it, though. You look at all the players opposite Nick Bosa, is that the only concern? Because I think Drake Jackson in year 2 is going to be better than Drake Jackson in year 1.
You hope
I think
so.
It'll be more consistent. I
hope so.
I hope. Yeah, I hope. But there's no holes anymore. So
there are holes. Well, it's like they signed like the safety back, and it's like okay, like Gibson. Yeah, like he's cool. Most of the people wanted Talanoa Hufanga out of there by the end of the season.
But wait, stay right there. Stay right there. Let's stay on Gibson for 1 second, right? Are you expecting a rookie? We pick at 99. You expecting a rookie to come in here and take his job?
No.
That's my point. That's my entire point. Nobody is coming in this draft that is expected to be a starter. Nobody. Maybe a kicker. Maybe if we draft a kicker to compete with Gonzalez.
If you draft a guard second round, I expect him to come in and play over Spencer Burford, who you have rotating with Daniel Brunson.
You said second round. We don't have a second round.
Well, that's how the conversation started.
Oh yeah, okay. Over who? Spencer Burford?
Yeah.
But Spencer Burford was originally a tackle, right?
Well, I know.
Tony and I have been trying to figure out for months why they kept rotating Burford in and out the lineup. Is it because they really want him to be tackle? Is it because so there was an article, Crocker, that came out early this season. It was like a month ago, where Mike McGlinchey told ESPN the Niners were very upfront with me. They said that there's a probability that they'll trade me during the season. That Mike McGlinchey's words. The team told him there's a probability they're going to trade me. So my question to you is,
who's going to play right tackle?
If that had have happened, who was supposed to play right tackle?
McKivitz, the same guy that's penciled in as right tackle starter right now.
Tony, you agree with that?
Yeah. What's up, Croc? Yeah, I think I would go with McKivitz right now because he has experience. But just real quick, just listening to you guys, the 49ers have a tendency to draft for the year for 2023 for 2024. But if that draft in 2023 produces someone, let's just say for the offensive lineman, to be their best 5, like Burford was, he will play like he did last year. Now, like you said, I don't know what their issue was, why they kept flipping back and forth between him and Brunskill. I don't know if it was maybe he couldn't handle the load as a guard. I don't know.
That's okay, Tony, I got a question for you then, Tony.
Go ahead, bud.
Hypothetically speaking, 49ers, and because this was the question that Mike had asked me. But hypothetically speaking, 49ers trade up into the second round, right? Breaking news, 49ers trade up to the middle of the second round, and they draft a tackle.
Wait. Let me throw a little caveat in there. They do it today, not during the draft. So we don't know there's a run on positions.
So
we don't know that there's a run on positions. Today, you hear the Niners trade up to the bottom of the second round. Go ahead.
All right. You hear the 49ers trade up into the second round. And they draft a tackle, an offensive tackle. You're telling me that they're drafting this tackle for the following year, not to play over. They don't want him to play over McKivitz today?
No, I think he will have an opportunity to compete. To be,
but do they want him to play? Are they drafting him because we want you to play over Colt McKivitz? Now, whether he does or not, like that's up to him. But do they want him? Are they drafting this tackle because they want him to play over Colt McKivitz? Or y'all think it's like, nah, we got McKivitz, we're cool. You can just take your sweet time and we'll play you next year.
I see what you're
they
saying.
want him. They're drafting with the intentions of, we hope this guy is ready to play over Colt McKivitz. Like, that's the goal. It's not for next year.
I agree.
If next year, if it takes next year, cool. But we want you to play over McKivitz right now. When they drafted Aaron Banks, they drafted him. We want you to beat out Daniel Brunskill. Damn, you couldn't. So you're just not going to play.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Actually, Croc, it's kind of funny you said that because I honestly think if they don't trade up for a tackle to compete with McKivitz, I think the 49ers might actually put Burford back at right tackle because I think, honestly, with the signing of Feliciano, that says something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they want to solidify that right guard spot because I remember when they drafted him, they announced him as a right tackle, as a tackle Burford. And it's his more natural position, even though he played the left side. He did play some right side in college. I just feel like they have the ability to go multiple ways right now. They could trade up. They could keep Burford at right guard. They could trade up in the second round, like the scenario you just gave, to take that tackle, insert him at the right tackle spot, and let him and McKivitz go at it. Or if they're that high on Feliciano, feel it's going to be an upgrade for that right guard spot, they could slide Burford out to right tackle and let him compete with McKivitz. Now, the situation is the Trent Williams situation. This is where I think they'll draft somebody, not a trade up. I think they draft somebody and groom him potentially to be the next Trent Williams. If they win the Super Bowl this year, I think Trent Williams moves on. I think he's done. He goes out as a winner. You know, the first thing out of his mouth when they lost that game, he was kind of like, yeah, I don't know where I'm at right now. So he's coming towards the end, and the whole financial side of it, there's big deals coming up. Me and Mike were talking about this today as far as the cap situation going into next year. So that's where I could see they could draft somebody and make that guy, if it's a true left tackle at a trade-up spot, to be ready for Trent next year if Trent decides to walk away from the game. But you're right. If they find a guy that's starting to drop, and there's not a run on tackles, and that guy's starting to lurk into the bottom of second round, high third, they pull the trigger, and he's a true right tackle, he's coming in, and they expect him, in my opinion, I think, in this situation, to be the right tackle of the 49ers and beat out Colt McKivitz, because if you look at the Colt McKivitz contract, it screams swing tackle.
I like it.
And that's what my man got a soundboard. He got the one I want on there. I don't have that one. But the purpose of the exercise, because I asked Tony this, I asked Wayne Breezy this, I asked Jason Aponte this, right? If you heard today that they traded up to the second round, that means that they're going to address what the team thinks their biggest need is. I personally cannot identify the biggest need on this team right now. I can't. If I went through this whole roster, position by position, I can't figure out what the biggest need is.
I think that depends on your philosophy of team building. And that's probably why. Like, you and I could probably come to two different conclusions on what we feel like is the biggest need. Like, for me, I think the biggest need is someone opposite Nick Bosa. Mm. Like, I just think having Nick Bosa and everything that he did, and then like having someone opposite him, maybe they try and they throw a bunch of bodies. They did sign guys. All right, they throw a bunch of bodies and try to see who can work it out. But if you just have a solidified guy, like when they have brought in D Ford, right, where it's like we got D Ford, healthy version of D Ford, he's just going to be a terror, right? Like, it helps your defense so much. So I just value that so much because it helps the linebackers, it helps the cornerbacks, it helps the safeties. Guys don't have to cover as much. And they were able to get by last year without it. But I just think it makes you way more dangerous having a solidified guy. So to me, that is the hardest one to scheme around. They did well at it last year, but that's the hardest one. So for me, if I could have any position and upgrade it for the 49ers, it would 100% be that edge opposite. So I think that's the biggest quote unquote need, but I can understand if somebody came to a different position for, different reasons.
And that's what I was trying to identify with the exercise, right? So if we stay pat, it's easy to say they're going to let the board fall to them BPA, right? You're drafting for depth and all that stuff. But if you heard that the Niners traded up, now it's going to be like, all right, what position, right? When we traded up from, 12 to 3, we all knew it's quarterback.
Right.
You don't trade all the way up there for BPA. You trading up that far for a quarterback. So we all started doing research on various quarterbacks when that happened. If we heard today that they traded up to the bottom of the second round, it's going to be like, all right, there's a need that they want to address at this point. And I can't identify that need. That's why I was asking y'all what y'all think. Because as of right now, if we stay in pat, I think it's BPA and it's depth. If someone beats somebody out, cool.
I agree.
But that's not what you're here for.
I agree.
Right? So are we all on the same page? You
Yes.
agree with that, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was trying to identify. If they traded up, what's the biggest need? Everybody gave a different answer. I got edge. I got wide receiver. I got corner. I got linebacker because Aziz is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're not. No.
But here's the thing. I don't think that they're wrong for saying edge and cornerback. My logic on it was you typically don't find game-changing cornerbacks and edges late in the second round. But I said receiver because you do. Like, you find legit star receivers day 2, whether it's second round or third round. So that's why I was like, well, you're going to trade up for something that we know is more likely to hit. And if it's a guy that you identify as being like a guy. So that's why I said, like, I just watched A.T. Perry. I'm like, I really like this A.T. Perry kid. And, if they were to trade up for A.T. Perry and he gives you something different than Ayuk, gives you something different than Debo, gives you something different than even like Jawan Jennings or Ray McLeod. I mean, we're talking about a 6'4", field-stretching receiver who's a terrific contested catch guy. We don't have that. I think the closest thing to being like a legit consistent contested catch guy was Kendrick Bourne. And like once you lost him, it's like I don't trust anybody to win a jump ball. Like, who do y'all trust to win a jump ball for the 49ers?
See, you don't need a guy to win jump balls because of Kyle's scheme. Kyle schemes people open. So it's kind of a give and take, right? But how long can Kyle continue to do that?
Well,
how long can he continue?
Here's my response to that. That reminds me of like the thing about quarterbacks and not needing a big arm. And my response always is, you don't need a big arm until you need a big arm, right? Like you don't need, for 90% of a game, you don't have to have a cannon of an arm. You can get by with a whatever arm, just run the offense efficiently. But there will be certain throws that either a guy shies away from, so we never even know that it was there because he just won't attempt it, or you see the ball hang in the air a certain way and it gets picked off. Saw it last year, and I think Baker Mayfield has a solid arm, but he tried to throw that ball, Rams versus Seahawks, at the end of the game down the left sideline. He was a little late, doesn't have a big arm, ball hung in the air, interception, game over, right?
The same can be said in the Super Bowl with that Tyreek Hill play against the Chiefs, right? Like,
right.
It was,
you didn't need that big arm most of the game, but in the moment where you have to drop back 20 yards because Armstead and Bosa and these guys are in your face, and I got to throw off my back leg and still heave it 60 yards in the air, right? Like, you don't need the big arm until you do. So that reminds me of a receiver where A.T. Perry, I think he has a very good, well-rounded game, but he also has the contested catch element, which you don't need until you need. And we've seen several opportunities for guys to win jump balls for the 49ers, and they just don't do it. Like, none of them. It's very rare. Like, if they win a contested catch, jump ball play, it's like, oh, look at that. It's like seeing a unicorn down there. Like, we can count, like, most of the time we can think off the top of our head the contested catch because it happens that few far in between. Whereas if you ask Cincinnati Bengals, like, hey, man, do you remember every contested catch? Like, well, T. Higgins does it 3 times a game. Jamar Chase does it 5 times a game. And that just makes it easier for your quarterback, whether it's whoever it is, Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy or Trey or whoever. So I mean, that would be, like for me, it's help your quarterbacks out some. Everything is so difficult. To me, this offense that the 49ers are in, although, yeah, you can scheme guys open and stuff like that, it's so difficult of an offense because everything is predicated so much on Kyle doing all the work. It's like, man, you're not going to let your players do some of it? Now, he does with the run after catch, but that's him putting him in position to do run after catch. As opposed to, you know what? I just have this good receiver. Let me just have him run a 10-yard stop route, and I'm going to throw it to him.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it got to be play action, turn your back, risk your quarterback blowing his elbow out because, we have to draw a play like this to hit this big play. As opposed to just having a just drop back offense, which the 49ers just don't have. They don't have a drop back passing offense.
No. And that play in the Super Bowl, my man was in shotgun and still took a drop. Like, that's how much space they needed to allow Tyreek to make that move and get open, right? We don't have that here with the 49ers, to Eric Crocker's point. Like, we don't have that here. And that's what we were facing. Like, all right, we need this now. We down 2 scores. We got to make a play. And this is the best play design we got. Can you do it? Right? And you heard the mic'd up has been released already. Hey, do we have time to run this play? Well, we'll put you in shotgun. You got to do what you got to do. All right, Tyreek, go. Like, that was the conversation on the sideline. You know what I'm saying?
And
like
the quarterback didn't even have time. Like, he had to make time. He literally dropped back 15 yards, falling off his back leg with
but the Niners
Armstead
don't
and Bosa.
have that. They don't have the wide receiver
Buckner,
to do it, and
right.
they don't have the quarterback to do it. They don't have either one of those right now, right? So, and again, that was the purpose of the exercise. If you heard today they traded up, what's the position that they're going for? What's the need that's out there? And again, I saw somebody else say tight end was another one. We got so many different answers that it has me wondering, where's the biggest need on this team right now? And I just don't know that I can readily identify.
Just real quick, and we spoke about this on the phone, Mike. This team has a tendency, this administration has a tendency to use free agency to fill all their holes, whether it's a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 free agent. So when it comes draft time, they have full flexibility. They don't have to go into this draft 100%. Oh my God, if the season starts tomorrow, who's playing free safety? Who's playing opposite of Bosa? They add pieces to give them that flexibility. Not saying these pieces are better than anything in this draft, but if tomorrow was a game, they could field 22.
Right.
With no problem. And
they feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, and it's really a great way to do it, to give yourself full flexibility with 11 picks. Even though we don't have a first or a second, we have ammunition to move up if someone's there. And just to be honest with you, I don't even think they would consider doing a trade before the draft. I know this is an exercise, but they're not going to trade until they see how that board drops, right? If there's a run on tackles, run on ends, run on corners, run on wide receivers, where they need to pull the trigger and jump up and get somebody, bless you, because of the run. And again, it all ties back to giving them the flexibility in the draft because of how they manage their roster using free agency. Even though they're not top-notch guys, they're just filling slots.
And that's what I was trying to explain to Croc before you came on. It was like, early on, every drafted player had a legit shot at making the roster. Now, that's not necessarily true. Like, we drafted a defensive tackle named Kalia Davis, right? There was no expectations for him in this draft.
When was he drafted? Like, that's the part. When you said it, we're saying second round. Like, in my opinion, when you take a guy second round, I want this guy on the field, especially if he's a guard. Because a guard, you can't be typically a rotation player.
If we had a second round pick this year, we would be like, all right, who are we looking for? What are we doing now? Right? We didn't have that. We're all the way at the bottom of the third. Correct. And so it's hard to analyze it now because we don't even have to put ourselves in that position. It doesn't exist.
Correct.
Right? And that brings me to my second point. We're going to get to this real quick, and then we're going to talk about the players that were brought in for the workouts, right? The Niners traded a second, a third, a fourth, and a future fifth for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And I hear all the time every content creator saying drafting running backs high is not worth it. It's not worth it.
I mentioned that in the text message, right, with the third round.
But I think that's false. I think that's super duper false. All right. Now we're going to get to it. All right. Christian McCaffrey showed what a dynamic running back can do for this kind of system. Right. Stay in the system. Don't think league wide. Stay in the system. Stay with dynamic running backs. I'm not mad at Kyle reaching for a guy like Joe Williams. If we can bring his peak to being normal, we're in good hands.
I have a question for you. During Kyle's tenure, who would you say have been the most dynamic players that running backs he's had? If you could just rank them.
Dynamic,
just
and
dynamic,
good.
explosive, dynamic. Just rank them.
But we have to start with the definition, because dynamic and productive are two different things, right? Most productive was easily Raheem Mostert. But dynamic is something else. Raheem Mostert wasn't much of a pass catcher. He wasn't much of a downfield receiver, 5-10 yards downfield. That's not Raheem Mostert's game. Raheem Mostert's game was, give me the ball. If I see a hole, nobody's catching me from behind. I'm out. Right? You see a little bit of that in Elijah Mitchell, but he gets caught from behind. Raheem Mostert was easily the most effective and efficient running back in Kyle Shanahan ever. I'm talking any team. I don't care if you go back to the Houston days.
Alfred Morris was pretty good.
Alfred Morris wasn't doing what Raheem Mostert was doing with the touches. He was not. He wasn't, bro.
Yeah, but he was right. No, correct. But he was on the field more, so it's like he was a 1,600-yard rusher as a rookie.
Right, because he was out there all the time. He was the starter. He was the closer, and everything in between. Right. Raheem Mostert wasn't that, but per touch, it was Raheem Mostert. He was damn near average 10 yards.
You got Mostert up top, right? And we're just talking about legit
the most
backs
dynamic
in the scheme.
But the most dynamic
guy
Mostert
up there,
has easily been Christian McCaffrey, because you could take Christian McCaffrey from the backfield and bust him out wide. Now he's out here, and it's like, oh my God, what is he going to do? Because he's going to run a clean ass route. He's going to get open, and now you got to deal with that. So Raheem Mostert.
And my bad, I worded my question wrong. Just guys that are like, you watch them in the offense, and you're like, damn, when he's back there at running back, he's legit on the field for the 49. Like, that's a legit back. Like, I like him in there. You can only name McCaffrey and Mostert?
That's it. That's all I got. Everybody else has just been, and listen, that's not a knock on Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell's been really good too.
Yeah, I think it kind of is a knock the way you're saying it, because I mean, Elijah Mitchell's hella good. I think he's hella good. He just got to stay healthy, obviously, but he is
right.
Good.
Availability is a part of it. Right. So I can't really.
Do you think your draft status has an effect on if you're healthy or not?
Wait, say that again? No.
Do you think where you're drafted has anything to do with your inability or ability to stay healthy? I would say no, right? So just identify him as when he's on the field for the 49ers. How do you feel about Elijah Mitchell as a running back?
But that's not what your question. That's not what your first question was.
Well, I'm asking you, how do you feel about him? Because I'm gonna bring it full circle.
A+.
How do you feel about him? Okay, A+.
6+ yards, 6+ yards a carry out of Elijah Mitchell. I'll take that all game long. I'll take that as a top running back in the NFL. That's really good.
So my thing is, because you talking about the running backs, and my thing was, I thought it was ridiculous in the moment and in hindsight to draft Trey Sermon and Ty Davis Price. I really thought it was stupid. Why do I think it was stupid? Because if you look at Kyle Shanahan's leading rushers outside of, obviously, like now you traded for McCaffrey, which we already know what McCaffrey is, but we're talking about guys like the first person you said was Raheem Mostert. Undrafted guy, was on several teams. After him, I mean, you had Matt Breida. He had his moments. He had some special touches and plays in games for the 49ers. You look at Elijah Mitchell, how good he is. Jeff Wilson, he was really good for the 49ers. So you got all these guys that are really good. Some guys more special. And then, okay, you put the cherry on top with Christian McCaffrey. But if I'm Kyle Shanahan, why am I reaching? Because that's what it was part of, like when you kind of reach for a need. Why am I reaching for running backs in third round when my most successful guys have been 6th round or undrafted guys?
I'll tell you why. Because those guys are in there and they're doing well. Go out and get a guy with a skill set, and that's what we're missing with all this.
So you go get Trey Sermon? Nobody, and I mean nobody. I know you did. I know you for sure probably didn't.
I'm an Ohio State guy, and I did not think Trey Sermon was coming to this team.
Right. So that's a reach. No, not even just coming to this team. Even when you draft him, did you say, man, watch out for Trey Sermon? You did?
I'm with you. No, that wasn't.
What about when they drafted Ty Davis Price? Did you say, oh man, watch out for Ty Davis Price.
Now hear me out. I like Ty Davis Price for
I
a
like
different
him too.
reason than I like McCaffrey or Elijah Mitchell. Ty Davis Price is a tackle breaker, right? Like he's a guy that'll run through a couple of people. He can run through some arm tackles and all that stuff. He's a guy that uses leverage well and would break some tackles, and he would get the hard 4 yards. He'll get the hard 4 yards, right?
But Ty Davis
runs like Kevin Barlow. I like Kevin Barlow.
TDP's biggest issue is you can't catch. His hands are very inconsistent.
So that doesn't answer the question for the most dynamic guy. If we're putting them in order of dynamic, it's obviously it's Christian McCaffrey, right? Then it's probably Jeff Wilson Jr. If we're being honest with ourselves. It's Christian McCaffrey, Jeff Wilson Jr., Matt Breida.
You forgot Raheem Mostert.
No, because Raheem Mostert wasn't a catcher. That's what we're talking about. Dynamic.
Raheem Mostert did the screen game.
He could catch the ball. Like he wasn't like.
But it was 3
wasn't
yards.
that? Didn't he have the 75-yard touchdown catch against the?
Where did he catch the
Arizona
ball,
Cardinals?
Where did he catch the ball though?
I'm like 8 yards downfield.
That's what I'm saying. So that's not downfield dynamic. Like Christian McCaffrey can run a 12, 15-yard route and catch the ball and make something happen afterwards. Mostert wasn't doing that.
Right, but I'm just saying, just in general, like their ability to play the running back position and do multiple things, which I feel like they all could.
I think Carlos Hyde was underrated in this system. Personally, that's Mike. Again, I'm an Ohio State fan, so that's me. I felt like Carlos Hyde was underrated in the system. He led the team that year and all that, right? But it is what it is. But I don't think that Kyle should abandon drafting running backs early. There's 2 guys in this draft that I feel like if Kyle got them, he might be okay with letting go of Christian McCaffrey after this season.
Well, yeah, okay. I feel like sometimes it's the guys that definitely the guys that he has identified in the 3rd round that I thought was ridiculous.
But Keaton
like now,
Mitchell
if you were saying in the 2nd round you were going to go get Breece Hall, it's like, oh, we're drafting Breece Hall in the 2nd round. I get it. Like I would 100% get that. Like he's a do-it-all back, catches out the backfield, legit outside zone runner, has the speed, has the ability, shifty, does all these things. Breece Hall, I would have understood it, right? If you would have said, oh, they're going to draft Kenneth Walker, I get it. You're going to draft Ty Davis Price, and it's like, I don't quite get it. Oh, you're going to draft Trey Sermon, I don't quite get it right there. I think there's better value with another player, and you can wait. And I felt like there were running backs that they could have gotten in the 4th or 5th round that I thought would have been like, okay, I'm not going to pass on safety Nick Cross to draft Ty Davis Price. Like, like that. Like that's just my way of thinking.
That I agree with.
Yeah, and so, but I think what we wanted to discuss was giving up on running backs early. If there's a guy that's special, I'm not opposed to the team going out and getting him. I think a really good running back is the most dynamic player on the field. I really do. I hate how the NFL has devalued the running back position the way that they have right now. A solid running back that can pass, that can pass catch, that can block, that can run well is a rarity now. And so when you identify one of those guys, you got to go out there and get them. And I don't care if you have to go get them in the 3rd round.
Maybe they kind of suck at identifying those guys. Because I see people in the chat right now saying Jahmyr Gibbs. And it's like, well, yeah, give me a Jahmyr Gibbs all day long. Of course.
Gibbs
right?
Where is he going to go? Round. And are we there to get him? Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of it. But you don't go and, well, we can't get Jahmyr Gibbs, so let's go draft Trey Sermon in the 3rd. Like, hell no. No, you don't do that. You don't go from wanting the skill set of Jahmyr Gibbs to just settling for the skill set of Trey Sermon in the 3rd. Now, if you said Trey Sermon was a 6th-round pick, then I understand it. And then for you to double down, you drafted Trey Sermon in the 3rd, then you drafted Elijah Mitchell in the 6th. And we saw what Elijah Mitchell did and as a 6th-round running back. And it's like, man, this guy is legit, probably going to be our starter next year. That was how I viewed it. Obviously, he got banged up early on. But it was like, man, this guy, why would you go and draft another running back 3rd round? You just did it, and it made more sense. I mean, you had the 6th-round pick play, which had been all your guys late have been playing more. Like Matt Breida was their signing. Jeff Wilson was their signing. Like these are guys that led your team in rushing. And I'm not saying don't try to do better than them. But when you have Elijah Mitchell, that's your buffer to just take a flyer on somebody late, not try to swing for the fences with Ty Davis Price, who when you watch his film, you could see it's cool. I mean, I like, remind me of Kevin Barlow, but it's like, I'm not drafting him. I don't think he's better than Elijah Mitchell, what we already saw from Elijah Mitchell. Just my opinion.
Nah,
So I don't like the running back. Not that I don't want to be one of those people that don't value the running back position. I do if it's, I guess, a guy that Eric Crocker thinks is legit. But, it's like, well, yeah, if you're going to take Dalvin Cook in the second round, hell yeah. But like, what are you doing? Trey Sermon and Ty Davis Price? Cool, but that's why I think the value at running back is all weird. You're on mute, Mike.
Mike, you're on mute. You're still on mute. No.
You're muted.
What about now? Am I good?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Trey Sermon, they were head scratchers. I'm not going to lie to you. They were head scratchers because they weren't dynamic. But I'm talking Croc asked a very specific question. The most dynamic running backs. That's the thing. That's what we're talking about. And if the Niners can find a dynamic running back in the third round or in the second round, I say go get them. I am completely against this whole, we don't need running backs. We can get undrafted guys or 6th round or later. I'm against that because you're not gonna get a guy that's gonna replace Christian McCaffrey next season, not this one that's coming, but the following season, if you don't go out and draft them. There's no undrafted free agent that's gonna make it that far down that's going to replace a guy like Christian McCaffrey.
Right, like, I like the kid out of Tulane. He's nasty.
What's his name?
So if you told me that they went and got him, I'd be like, all right, okay.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, right?
Spears, right?
Tajay Spears. Yeah.
Some of these guys are light. Some of these guys are light in the ass. They don't have a lot of weight.
He's like 205. He's like
worried about durability. He's 205. I thought he was like 195, but
5'9", 205.
Yeah.
But like that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we need a pass catcher, we need a blocker, and we need somebody with a little bit of burst in those first couple of yards. Like, that's what we need. Patience in the hole, see the hole, and go. Like Keaton Mitchell.
Those are guys you get undrafted like Mason.
Right.
So why get them in the third? If that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a guy, man, can you get that, 3 downs in the dust of offense or whatever the hell they say?
But here's why you draft the guy early, because you know what he could do in your system, and you don't want to risk not getting him. If you got a guy that you know can do it, overdraft him. I'm okay.
So Mike, you're okay with overdrafting. And again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, now maybe they were trying to do something different, but we all knew Trey Sermon didn't. It's like, that's the opposite of everything that everybody.
Right.
Like, what are they doing?
I'm okay with overdrafting a guy if you think that he's going to be explosive or dynamic in your system. You got to draft for your system. You got to look at what they do well and apply it to the system and the scheme that you run. And that's a big difference. A lot of times when we look at these guys, can he come in and contribute right away? That's an NFL standard. That's a whole league standard, right? The system that the 49ers run, the system that the Ravens run are two different systems.
I feel like what you're talking about, the guys that fit, they have really struck gold with getting those guys that contribute, either late or undrafted. They've done a terrific job of that.
And so here's where I disagree. I'm going to tell you why. If it weren't for injuries, those guys that you're praising would have never touched the field. Now, how many injuries did it take before Jordan Mason touched the field? Don't tell me about where he was drafted, where he was picked up, and none of that. How many injuries did it take before he got on the field?
But we always, it's kind of rare with the 49ers because of the quarterback situation, but we know running backs get banged up. We know running backs miss time. Like, that's a given. And you use multiple backs. Like, we know that.
So that
when
means
you go into the season, we know 49ers, like, they will use 4 running backs. Like, they will. Whether it's 2-in-1 game and then one guy goes out, then you have to activate another guy. But we know four guys are going to play.
Due to injuries.
Yes.
Jordan Mason would have never touched the field if it weren't for injuries to guys like Elijah.
I don't
Mitchell.
think we could do that with the running back position. You could do that with quarterback and say, well, Purdy wouldn't have touched the field if these XYZ didn't get hurt. But I don't think at the running back position, I don't think you could do that.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Why not? Why not?
Because running backs get hurt. Like it's like a 100%.
Only person, the only player that Jordan Mason leapfrogged was Ty Davis Price. He didn't leapfrog a single other player. Not a single one of them. Right,
but I'm just saying, like, and even Ty Davis Price, it kind of took. Didn't he have a high ankle sprain early in the year?
There you go.
But what I'm saying is, but the running backs, they will get hurt. Like, we know that's a fact. It's very rare, especially in the 49ers offense for whatever reason, but it's rare just in general to have running backs not get hurt. Like, if I see a running back that play all 17 games now, it's like, wow, this guy's a unicorn.
Now, Tony, I see that you're kind of quiet over there, man. What's going through your head over there? What are you looking at over there? What are you looking up right now?
I'm just looking at this. This is a draft guy. I'm just looking at some stuff.
But like, am I wrong with what I'm saying? Like, you guys, I want y'all to let me know if I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, tell me I'm wrong. But like, we shouldn't just write off the running back position until the 6th round. There's guys that are out there that I feel will be very pivotal in the 49ers off. There's players right now the Niners could draft that'll leapfrog TDP, that'll leapfrog Mason at the running back position and come in here and contribute right away. And if I'm being completely honest with you, they'll be better pass catchers than even guys like Elijah Mitchell.
Okay, so here's my issue though with that. The running back position has already taken a huge hit in terms of value. So you just drafted guys 3rd round and then saying there's guys in the draft that would leapfrog guys that you just drafted 3rd round.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's the issue with like the.
But I didn't say that those were the right guys in the 3rd round. You asked me about them, and I said that we probably shouldn't have got them there.
Right.
I said that.
But it's hard that's hard. Like, to me, it's like right now you got Christian McCaffrey, you got Elijah Mitchell, you got Mason. Like, I feel like, you know what? I'm kind of good off the running back in the 3rd round. If there's a guy 5th round when I got a bunch of picks or 6th round or whatever, then like cool. But I don't think like that's the last position.
Hey.
Like, that's literally even outside of kicker. The running back is the last position that I would draft in the 3rd round if I'm the 49ers.
I got a question for both of y'all. Put our running backs.
I drafted kicker before I drafted running back in the 3rd round.
Put our running backs in order right now of the guys that you would like to see when. So it's safe to say Christian McCaffrey is running back 1. I think all of us would agree with that. He's RB1. If Christian McCaffrey needs a breather and you want the offense to continue to run the way that it's going, who's our next guy? And
Elijah Mitchell and then
Elijah Mitchell and then Mason.
It's not Elijah Mitchell.
Y'all
are lying. Y'all are lying.
Do I got
y'all are lying.
How do you say it's not Elijah Mitchell?
Y'all are lying because Elijah Mitchell don't catch the ball as well as Mason does. That's why Mason should be ahead of Elijah Mitchell.
You just said it to take a break. Who's the first guy for McCaffrey to take a break?
If McCaffrey's in the game and he gets dinged or he needs a breather, and you want the offense to run the same exact way, where you have the option.
You can't do that. Christian McCaffrey is like the best running back in the NFL.
Mike,
you can't do that.
I'll put my pension. I will put my pension.
Y'all are missing what I'm saying.
I will put my pension on it right now, saying it's Elijah Mitchell.
It's not Elijah Mitchell because he's not a good pass. He's not a good pass.
They drafted him, and he was, and everybody saying he was a 3rd down pass catcher. Like that's what he was coming out. They thought he was just going to be a 3rd down pass catching back.
Who's the 2nd best pass catcher on this team at running back?
Deebo Samuel.
Okay, I'll even take that as an answer. Now keep going. Who's next?
But you're looking at a very.
It's not Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. Okay. And I know they don't have Jeff Wilson anymore. But I remember when they had first got Christian McCaffrey, right? 49ers playing against the Rams. Who caught the first pass in that game? They had Mitchell in the game. They had Christian McCaffrey in the game. Mitchell caught multiple passes that game.
He did.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Like it doesn't. Like I think it's not saying. I think a pass catching back, like pass catching, might be the most overrated thing. Not saying that it's not like needed or that some guys aren't better at it, but they can catch the ball. Like guys can run around, catch the ball. Like they can do that. Now, can they do it to the extent of Christian McCaffrey? No. They used the kid he was number 23, smaller dreads, went to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hasty.
Yeah, JaMychal Hasty. They use JaMychal Hasty a lot as a third down pass catching back. But again, I don't think, again, now there's levels to it. And there are some guys, the kid Travis Etienne, really good pass catching back. Really good. Alvin Kamara, really good. Christian McCaffrey, probably the best. But there are other guys. It's like they can be pass catch, like they can catch the ball out the backfield. And Elijah Mitchell can.
I have not seen Elijah Mitchell do it.
I don't
know
think
why
you're
y'all saying
featuring that in your offense, but he can catch the ball at the backfield.
But
He can.
part of the dynamic of Christian McCaffrey is, hey, we got him and Debo on the field. They could swap places at any time. How do we play this? Right? If you take Christian McCaffrey off, there's no running back that does that as well, other than Jordan Mason.
No, there's no running back in the NFL that does it as well.
Wait, are you saying you just said Jordan Mason could catch the ball better than Mitchell?
Yes, 100%. And Tony, don't you lie.
Hell no.
You don't
he
believe
only
that
wears
Jordan
one
Mitchell.
glove. I don't trust anybody that wears one glove out there on the field.
Y'all are bugging. Y'all are bugging.
But
I don't pay attention to the fashion and the apparel and the shit that they wear.
Wait,
so
Mike, when
I can't argue
Jordan,
with Croc.
hold on. When
Jordan Mason is hands down a better pass catcher than Elijah Mitchell.
When
Don't
Jordan
play with me,
Mason's
bro.
in the game, they don't even run the outside zone. They run in between the tackles, a gap power scheme. And that's
But
where he's more productive.
I'm talking about a pass catcher.
Yeah, but I don't
because
No.
Croc's question was about dynamic. It wasn't about running. It wasn't about pure
It's
running
about all
ability.
of it. It's about running the ball, catch. Like it's about all. Like,
That's not. But that's not what the
if the
question was.
49ers, if let's say they did not have Christian McCaffrey, if they line up in his first down, I want Elijah Mitchell in the game. We've seen this offense with him leading as the back. They run the ball 27 times. And he had broken ribs and a broken knee and broken finger and broken helmet. And he's still no, you're going to carry the ball 27 times.
Yo,
Like
y'all
he's
about
the
to make me
guy.
upset.
Oh,
Y'all
this
about to
is not even a debate.
Y'all about to make me upset. As a runner, all right. So if you want to know my order as a runner, Elijah Mitchell's number 1, ahead of Christian McCaffrey.
What?
Yes. Yeah. Stop. Elijah Mitchell is a better runner in this system than Christian McCaffrey. Hands down.
I would say that there is a conversation to be had with that. I mean, I'm not going to jump off the deep end and say that, but there was a lot of times in the year I felt more comfortable with Mitchell. Like when he's in the game, it's like, man, they're going to pick up 6. They're going to pick up
Right.
6. I do think that
that's what I'm
McCaffrey
saying.
did a better job of just springing off bigger runs, but just like pounding the rock on a consistent basis. It
It's
did
Elijah
feel like
Mitchell.
Mitchell was the better,
yes.
just pure
And
runner.
right. Now the best pass catcher on this team is easily Christian McCaffrey. There's not a close second for that. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
But when you involve all of that, when you encompass all of that, Jordan Mason is ahead of Elijah Mitchell. Stop playing. Y'all see y'all
You just blowing something out
Mike,
your mouth. What was
can I
that?
just tell you something? Let me ask you a
Hold on,
question.
Tony.
Go ahead.
Mike, you just blew something out of your mouth. Was that crack? Like, what is that?
this guy. Okay, Croc. Okay. All right. Okay.
He's on crack.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You know why?
All right. It's cool.
You know why Mason's in uniform over TDP, right? You know why? Because he plays special teams. I don't think he's better than Mitchell. Because if it wasn't for special teams reason and TDP, well, I don't know. If TDP showed that he could play special teams, I don't know if Mason would be in a uniform. So therefore, it's not even a conversation to have if he's better than Mitchell.
Wow. On every major third down, who was the back that was out there if it wasn't Christian McCaffrey? It was Jordan Mason. It was not Elijah Mitchell. What are y'all talking about?
Elijah Mitchell missed like 14 games.
Yeah, Mike, you gotta give the full picture. It's just not like I see what you're saying, but
Oh, Lord.
I don't know.
All right. Hey, listen, we're gonna agree to disagree.
Well, how about this? If you're that high on Mason, why are you looking to take
Nah,
a back?
he's high
in the
on
third
that.
round?
Whatever. He is
No.
puffing.
Whoa. Time out. We're talking about of the players available. There are plenty of running backs that I think are better than Mason. There's 4 guys in this draft that I would take over Mason that are going to be available past the 4th round. There's plenty of guys that I think are better than Mason as an overall or more dynamic than Jordan Mason in this draft. But I'm talking about what's on this roster right now, total complicity, like everything.
Yeah. On this roster right now, the second best running back is Elijah Mitchell.
Running back, yes. But you said dynamic running back, which involves pass catching, and it's not Elijah Mitchell. It's not.
However you want to spin it, Elijah Mitchell is the second best running back on this team.
Elijah Mitchell is I argue with you that Elijah Mitchell is a better runner of the ball than Christian McCaffrey.
He is the second best running back on the team.
All right. Runner of the ball, Elijah Mitchell. Pass catcher, Christian McCaffrey. Overall, Christian McCaffrey. I'll give you that. I'm giving you Christian McCaffrey overall. I'm giving you that. But if I'm saying overall, the order is Christian McCaffrey, Mason, Mitchell, TDP. I'm telling you that's the order. It's okay. That is okay to say. We don't have to just hold on to these guys because of their names or where they came.
You know, I don't care about none of these dudes. But Mitchell is the second best running back on this team. I don't care about none of these dudes. If Elijah Mitchell was cut tomorrow, I wouldn't care.
Mike, does Mason even have a catch?
Oh my God. Here he goes. You know what? I got to use the bathroom. I'm gonna step away.
That's a fair question. So while you use the bathroom, I'm gonna check and see that. All right.
I love Mike, but man, woof.
Let's see.
I'm a 49ers. Oh wait, this is just the postseason, I think.
0 regular season catches. What the hell is Mike talking about?
Hey, wait, how many does Mitchell have?
More than 0.
It's crazy. He's the best pass catching. No, but on a serious note, he I understand Juszczyk as a fullback, but he's pretty damn good out of the backfield as a receiver too. I mean, that's probably
now he doesn't. Elijah Mitchell did not have many receptions, but between postseason and regular season, he had 5 for 32 yards. So I mean, obviously that's not earth-shattering. 22 in his career, 22 receptions in his career. Obviously, he's only been with the Niners 2 years, and he's missed a lot of games.
Yeah,
he's missed a lot of games, but. It's hard. It's hard for me to say that a guy that has 0 catches, 0 goose egg donut, is a better. Oh, he's a better pass catcher. He's a better overall back than Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, Tony. I don't know.
Listen, I like Mason. I like the way he runs. He runs hard. He's tough. He doesn't go down easily. But he's more between the tackles where he's like a game finisher. Like they bring him in, they want to run the clock out. Just give it to him and he pounds it right through the middle. And he gets yards. He gets yards by the chunk. But to say he's a better complete back than Mitchell, I just even with Mitchell with 5 catches. Hey, Mike.
You want to tell him or you want me to tell him? You want to tell him? You go ahead and tell him.
Hey, listen, before y'all do this,
I
want y'all to look at percentage-wise, not overall numbers.
Okay, look at percentage. Because the percentage of catches that Jordan Mason has is 0 because he has 0 catches.
No, that's not true. Y'all know as well as all right. You know what? Maybe this past season. No. What season do y'all look at? Maybe this past season. Y'all might be right.
He's a rookie.
No, because we had he's
Jordan Mason
was here last year.
No, he's a rookie. He was a rookie last season. Are you thinking of somebody else?
So y'all are telling me Jordan Mason don't have any catches as a 49er?
Nothing.
Y'all are telling me Jordan Mason don't have any pass catches?
Wherever you got that hookah from, I'll go back and check it out, bro. Because he's got
Jordan Mason has no receptions as a 49er.
No.
Oh, it's getting hot in here. Hold on.
He just Croc just looked it up.
Now I gotta look
it up.
There's no way, bro. Every third down, the 49ers.
Mike, bro, you got my back sweating, bro. My back's starting to sweat. I'm getting hot in here.
All right, it's over. It's a wrap. I'm. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I can't be imagining this.
Oh,
I feel like I saw the Niners throwing the ball to Jordan Mason all the time. Are y'all serious right now?
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Oh.
He really don't have a single reception for the Niners?
Oh man. Whew.
All right, you know what? That's cool. I was wrong. My bad. My bad. I was wrong. I was wrong. All right, so
Ooh, bro, my arm
I
is
hate
starting to
y'all.
sweat. I'm gonna take a
How
shower
did
now.
that? Yo, am I the only person that remembers Jordan Mason catching a pass to the flat on the right side of the offense?
Maybe he did
Maybe
in
in
the
the
preseason.
preseason.
Oh no, but that don't count. He did it multiple times, bro. That's crazy. I just looked it up and I don't see a single reception.
No, it's 0.
That can't be right. Is that real?
I don't even know if he had a target.
Yeah, that's what this is saying. All right, so I was wrong.
Someone in
But
the
how
chat
did?
says,
All right, wait.
Mason
Am I the
has
only
one
one of
catch
y'all?
for -1 yard. in the
Am I
preseason.
the only one of y'all that thought that Jordan Mason was a third down back for the Niners for mad long, and all of us were wondering why? All jokes aside, during the season, we kept saying it's third down, they're going to Jordan Mason. Am I the only one that remembers that? Like that was a thing.
Yes, you are. Oh, bro, I'm sorry.
Wait, you don't remember that? I swear to God, that was a thing. Oh, they said I'm thinking of Hasty. You know what? They're right. They're right. They're right. It was fucking Hasty.
I
You're
said that
absolutely
earlier.
right.
I said
You're
Hasty
right.
was
You
a third
did.
down back. They
You
would throw
did.
the ball to.
I was thinking of Hasty. Y'all, I apologize. That's who I was thinking of. I'm
I
sorry.
can't.
It was no. They're 100% right. It was Hasty. Because
Oh.
remember, I was like, no, he was doing it last year. Mason wasn't even here last year. I'm wrong. I'll eat that. That's on me. Crow on my face, egg on my face, whatever.
Bro, that was a
I
good laugh.
apologize.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a
I
good
am
laugh.
so sorry. I was thinking about Hasty. I am super duper sorry. I was wrong. I was thinking about Hasty. Hasty was the Niners' third down guy all the time, and it was pissing me off. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It was Hasty. I'm sorry. So I was wrong. That's on me. My bad. My bad. Damn. All right, let's change subjects so I don't have to keep talking about this shit. I can't. All right. So here's our last topic for the night. I'm going to go to our 49ers latest rumors and news. The 49ers had the local pro day. They brought in a bunch of people to work out and all. And I want to talk about these guys. I want to see if you guys have any thoughts on this, okay? Can you guys see the screen here?
Not yet.
It didn't show up yet? All right, let me go back here. Let me take this off of
Somebody said Mike needs to go back to cigars.
No. They're 100% right. I'm not mad at anybody saying that. I got Hasty mixed up with Mason. That was on me. 100%. That was on me. They brought in a punter, they brought in a kicker, they brought in 3 quarterbacks, they brought in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners, they brought in 2 running backs, 1 fullback. They brought in a ton of safeties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 safeties. They brought in 1, 2, 3, 4 tight ends, 2 linebackers, 1 center, 2 guys issued as just offensive linemen, and then they brought in a plethora of receivers and a couple of defensive linemen here. Guys, do any names on this list stand out to you guys?
Go to the corners real quick. Oh, definitely. Rajon Wright and the kid out of USC.
Becton?
Yeah, I think Mekhi Becton. Do we see him?
Yeah, he's right there.
Not
Oh, was it Blackman?
Blackman.
Blackman.
Yeah.
Blackman. Yeah.
Mekhi Becton is the offensive
Is the
lineman.
Jet,
Mekhi
right?
Blackman, though. Yeah, I mean, those 2 guys definitely very intriguing. And I started watching some film on Rajon Wright. A lot of us might remember him from Last Chance U, playing for Laney College out there in California. Saw him out there in Stockton, you know. But Rajon Wright, long, 6'3", 6'2", 6'3" cornerback. Doesn't lack confidence at all. Very, very interesting to see him there. I personally know the tight end that should be there, Andre Kelly. He's a basketball player at Cal Berkeley, 6'8". But he worked out as a tight end there, and I had worked out with him like last week, and he had told me that he was going to be doing the 49ers local pro day. So I'm familiar with him, of course.
All right, Tony, you and I have been going a little bit deep in this draft process. Is there anybody on this list whose name you had as someone to watch for the Niners potentially maybe getting? I'll read the. You know what? I'll read the names really quick. Just so
I
it
like
helps.
Hayner. I like Hayner from Fresno State.
The quarterback.
Yeah, Jake Hayner is very interesting as a prospect, especially depending on how 49ers plays out. But I'd assume, and Peacock and I have talked about this on Locked On 49ers, that the 49ers will. I mean, they have to add another arm because right now the only guys that are like legit going to be able to throw the ball throughout OTAs is Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. Like you have to add. I'd assume they add a third arm, and even head into preseason.
You mean a fourth arm?
Well, I'm not counting Brock because I don't think he would participate in any on-field action during OTAs. And I think even when you get to training camp, I think he'll be somewhat limited to some extent. So you have to add, yes, a fourth arm, but I mean a third arm in the sense of Trey and Sam Darnold. And I could see Jake Hayner being like that type of guy.
We have punter Jamison Sheehan, kicker Peyton Henry, quarterback Jake Hayner, quarterback Ike Agbogu. I'm sorry. Quarterback Tanner McKee, corner Mekhi Blackman, corner Ethan Bonner, corner Derek Langford, corner Nehemiah Shelton, corner Tariq Bracy, corner Rajon Wright, running back Chris Brooks, running back Jordan Mims.
Mims is nice.
Okay. Fullback Houston Hemuli, safety Tyreek James, safety Tyreek Mack, safety John Torchio, safety Delano Ware, safety Bennett Williams, safety Kendall Williamson, tight end Justin Malone, tight end J.J. Jones II, tight end Caleb Phillips, tight end Andre Kelly, linebacker Austin Ajake, linebacker Kyle Harmon, linebacker. Oh, this dude made it here. I'm sorry. Linebacker Henry 2020. I don't know how to say his last name. I've been trying to figure out how to say this, and this dude's from Alabama. I like this guy. All right. Center Corey Luciano, offensive lineman Wade Willett, offensive lineman Jack Wilson, wide receiver Elijah Cooks, wide receiver Elijah Harper, wide receiver Nico Remigio. Nico Remigio, wide receiver Pierre Williams, wide receiver Kikoa Crawford, wide receiver Michael Wilson, defensive lineman Gabe Reed, defensive lineman PJ Huff, defensive lineman Junior Fiocco, and defensive lineman Isaiah Foskey.
Oh, Foskey's a local kid?
Yeah, from Antioch, California.
Okay, yeah. Foskey, that's a long, lengthy, he's more of a kind of a off, like a 3-4 outside linebacker. Kind of reminds me of kind of Eli Harold. But, I mean, he was a guy who I think people would have maybe thought would have been like a first rounder, kind of during the season. But I mean, obviously there's a lot of hype during the year, but he's a legit edge rusher out of Notre Dame, though.
And none of their edge guys participated, I don't think. I think out of the 5 that they had, maybe 2 of them participated. The other 3 were just kind of standing there watching. But yeah, like I like that running back from Fresno State, Mims. And this year, Croc, I don't know if you watched the East-West Shrine game. There were some talented guys in that game. I was very impressed with some of those players in that game. Mims was definitely one of them. Ricky Stromberg was in that game. Jose Ramirez, the edge guy from Eastern Michigan, undersized guy, but speed guy would bend off the edge. There's a lot of talented players in that game, and I came away really impressed. Matter of fact, I was watching it the other day again, just watching these guys, and there was a lot of talent there.
Yeah.
I think the only name on this list, well, there's two, but you guys talked about the quarterback already. But Rajon Wright is a guy whose name I remember from looking over some of the prospects in my Rajon Wright and Henry Tuotuo. I hope I'm saying that right. Tuotuo.
Yeah.
From Alabama.
He was a guy at Tennessee, transferred to Alabama. He's a bit undersized, and I think he plays like a coverage linebacker, but he kind of fits with what the 49ers have had with guys like Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, where like traditionally they're not like these thumpers, but they've kind of developed into that in the NFL, but more of kind of coverage guys like heading to the NFL, and I think Tua is like that. I have to get out of here, guys, because my laptop's about to die. It's on 2%, but I appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, Croc. Thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate you, man. Have a good night. All right.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again.
Yes, sir. I meant to say Hasty, not Mason. My bad.
Yeah. All right. All right, Joe.
All right,
Later,
Croc. Be
Croc.
safe, bro. That's our guy, Eric Crocker there, man. I can't believe I did that. And I was like on it too. Like I was not letting up on that.
You were so adamant about it. It's the best thing, though.
That's
It's
crazy.
so funny, bro.
I was really, really like on it too. Like, damn. I mean, I can't be embarrassed in front of this crowd because they know me by now. I would tell y'all if I was like just fluffing it, but I was thinking Hasty and was talking about freaking Mason the whole time. Y'all are 100% right. Anything that we think we should be looking at on this list, man? I'm happy to see at least 3 or 4 names that were on our radars for this draft process, Tony. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was happy to see at least a couple of names that we liked on here. Only one center? That's a little alarming to me. Just one center in Luciano. I think the Niners are going to need help at that position. In a handful of safeties, I don't know where these guys play. We're gonna have to go back and take a look to see if they're box safeties or free safeties. I don't have any answers there. Rajon Wright is a guy that I don't know where my folder is, but I can show you guys. I have him marked for the 49ers here from Oregon. He's someone that I thought would be a good fit, and if we could groom him for a year, he'd be okay. And then Tuotuo, the linebacker from now Alabama. Any other names that you want to highlight before we get out of here?
On that list, no. There's just I like the 2 guys from Fresno State. The 202 guys is solid, but you got to remember these are just local guys. These don't freak out. There was only one kicker there, one punter. It's literally just guys from that Bay Area that just come in for an opportunity to work out. Some of the guys didn't participate, like I said earlier. So, I mean, I wouldn't look too deep into that list.
Let me ask you this question, though, right? So, knowing that there was a kicker and a punter on there, do you think that the Niners brought those guys in to test return men, or do you think that they brought them in because they're looking for replacements for the guys they have on the roster? Or both?
No, I mean, they're just working them out potentially as a call-up guy if they need a left-footed kicker. You know, if a team has a left-legged kicker, Mike should know better. If they're playing an opposing team that has a left-footed kicker, they'll bring a guy that kicks left-footed to, get the return guys used to the spin on a left-foot kick. It's just basic due diligence. It's an opportunity to throw a Niners jersey on and go out and work out and try to make a name for yourself. So, I mean, I wouldn't panic on that list. There are a couple guys, but I'm not going crazy over that list. I'm more focused on the 30s right now, the top 30 visits, see what's going on with that.
And if you guys want an in-depth breakdown of who the Niners brought in for their 30 for 30 visits, Steph has a really, really good list. She's been keeping a solid track of that all off season. Steph Sanchez So make sure you guys check her out. Check out her Twitter. She's got a good list there. TL asked, was Jalen Cropper on that list? He was not. Jalen Cropper was not on that list of local guys. Let's get to these super chats here, and then we'll get out of here. We'll wrap the show up. I was happy. I had a lot of fun doing this show, man. You guys were phenomenal. So I want to thank you guys again for all of that. If you guys, this is your last chance to be a part of the show. So we're doing super chats only. If you guys have any more, send them in really quick. All right. Spencer Burford played well at right guard. Do you think a veteran offensive guard who started 17 games really came here to sit the bench? I think Burford moves to right tackle. TL, I'll go first here before we get word from Tony. This is what I was talking about. Tony and I have been trying to figure out all offseason why the 49ers were shuffling him in and out. I think they wanted him to get some experience using the right hand and right foot as a lead hands and responding because he played on the left side before. And I think they might be looking to move him to right tackle. I'll be completely honest with you, man. And I would not be surprised if this is how our offensive line started at the beginning of the season, week 1, with Burford at right tackle. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Not one little bit. Tony, what are your thoughts on this here?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. They give themselves ample opportunities by how they use the free agent market. They want to solidify inside. You go in and you bring Feliciano, who started for the Giants last year at center, but has played left and right guard. So you bring him in, right? Brunskill moves on. He's getting paid a decent salary. I think off the top of my head, it's like $295. That could be up to like $4 million within playing incentives. I think just off the top of my head. So it tells me that they're giving themselves options and they're looking for competition wise, right? Everyone wanted to see the Poe. Everyone wanted to see the Zakel. Well, they retained I had a brain fart. What's the center's name again? Brendel. They retained Brendel.
Yeah.
All right. It's listed as a 4-year deal. I honestly think it's probably a 1-and-1. Yeah, it's a 2-year, but they can get out after 1 probably. So 1-1. It's probably like 4 1-year deals, to be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to look at it. But with that being said, they have options, right? And that's what I love about this team, on how they manipulate the free agent market to fill their quote-unquote holes or needs or openings, if you will. And then they give them full go in the draft, full movability.
So his contract that he signed, it's a 4-year deal for $16 million, and the out is in 2024. So I guess you're right.
Which is next year.
Yeah, 2024 is next year.
Yeah.
1 year, $5 million. But it says 2.7 million dead cap. So yeah, they have a very, very early out starting next year.
So now you have to look at the draft and say, okay, well, will they go center early if there's a center there? So there's options. And that's that's something I said earlier. Was Burford drafted to be the right tackle to replace McGlinchey? Look at the track record, right? I know what Croc talked about. Banks drafted in the 2nd round. He should be on the field playing. They gave him an opportunity to take over the right guard spot or compete for the right guard spot. It didn't work out. The body wasn't right. He wasn't in NFL. He wasn't ready for the NFL. So what did they do? They redshirted him. Then all the people started panicking. Oh, he's a bust. He's this, he's that. Well, I think the real plan was to be the left guard for Tomlinson, but they wanted the opportunity to get their best 5 on the field. So it's the same thing with Burford, right? They announced him as a tackle. They put him at the right guard spot, like Mike said, switching his whole demographic of his body, become a righty instead of using your lefty. And now he played the right guard spot. He got starting experience. He was platooned in and out for Brunskill for what reason, I don't know. Now you have a hole at right tackle. So is that what we're going to see? And I think these 3 picks, the last 3 picks on night 2 of the draft, is going to tell you a lot. it's going to tell you a lot what they feel about that right tackle spot. So, your whole objective is to get better from the previous season and what you have. And I think the Niners did get better on the offensive line as far as the right guard spot because they added the Feliciano. You still have the Poe, the Zakel. They retained Brendel as the starting center, who was an alternate Pro Bowl center behind Jason Kelsey. So there's positives here. There's flexibility here, and this is what you want.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, if the Niners went out there and drafted this like knockout guy who just shocked us all as a center, like they can even move on from Jake this season. His dead cap hit this year is only 4.49. So I mean, they can move on from whenever. However, that does say backup center position, like security blanket. So I would keep him here and around for at least just this season. I like Jake Brendel, and kudos to him for making the Pro Bowl, right? He was a Pro Bowl alternate, if I'm not mistaken, or was he a Pro Bowl starter? I don't remember, but he was a Pro Bowl guy this past season, his first year as a starter with Kyle Shanahan, so I like it. Preston Williams says, Tony, I finally got that hat. I'm going to go full screen here on Tony. Show that hat, man. Let him know what it is, bro. Show off the goodies right there. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this hat is a little weird to me. I have a lot of fitted hats, and they don't look like that. They're not shaped like – what kind of hat is that, Tony?
It's a flex fit hat. It's fitted. It's definitely fitted. It's just flex fit.
So it's got the elastic band around the base. That's what the difference is. See, mine is like a one size. Like when I order a fitted hat, it's eight and a half. Like that's it. Yours is multiple sizes in one doing.
The flex fit is small, medium, large, extra large.
Right. Yeah. And you got multiple sizes and weights in there. So all right, cool. That's what's up. I like that. Kudos to Preston for finally getting the hat, man. Hope you enjoy it. All right. 49ers George 365 says one glove is only for a quarterback or holder. And this was when we were talking about running backs.
Yeah. The dangerous pass catcher.
I don't remember talking about running backs, so I'm not going to discuss it again.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to discuss running backs there anymore. So, all right, man. Thank you guys very much for the super chats. We appreciate you guys, man. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. Tony, man, let's wrap this show up here. We're going to go with some final thoughts now, man. It's time to put this show to bed. We're going to go home. Tony, thanks for jumping in here. Eric Crocker was a phenomenal guest as well. I want to thank you all for watching the entire time. I'm going to go back to solo screen and get my man Tony, man. Give us your final thoughts, bro. What you got for us?
Shit. Well, it's getting close. You're going to hear some rumors of potential trades coming up because the draft is approaching quickly. Not quick enough, but it's coming. I'm excited looking forward to it. I'm still behind from where I was last year at this time as far as prepping for the draft. But it's going to be interesting. I think the Niners have free reign in this draft. They don't need one thing. They could just make their roster better at any position that they feel that they could with the draft selection that they have. So with that being said, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this draft could be very helpful for this team for potentially this year and definitely in 2024. But that's another show we'll get into, talking about how the roster looks and the cap situation for 2024. But yeah, it's coming. It's not coming fast enough, and I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to try to get my preparation game up for the draft to try to catch up. But I'm behind big time.
It's all good, man. We're both a little bit behind in our draft preparation this year. We don't even have our big board set. I think by this time last year, we had our big board set. But you know what? It's okay, man. We'll get it taken care of. We're working it out. We're trying to figure out the logistics of it all. We're trying to figure out what's worth doing and not doing. But we will have a draft show, even if we're in our own individual homes. Usually, the last 3 years, you guys have seen Tony and I together at least. in one place, in one space, with at least 2 different camera angles to show you guys the draft and the draft board. But we will have it all figured out and worked out. I promise you guys that. In the meantime, though, guys, just stay prepared, man. We are bringing you guys a lot of good content here. There are plenty of other 49ers content creators out there that are doing the same as well. I won't speak on the content itself, but I will promise you this. When you guys watch Nothing But Niners, you're going to get really, really good energy every single episode. It's going to get you excited. It's going to get you talking. It's going to get you laughing. You guys are going to be having a really, really good time watching our shows. So I hope that you guys continue to tune in, set your alarms, subscribe, put on those notifications, and we're going to keep rocking out, man. You guys have been nothing but phenomenal. I appreciate you all. And yes, 8.5 fitted. That was the biggest size that I was able to find during my days. Guys, I've had a big head before the dreads. I promise you. My head was massive before the dreads. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you all for rocking out with us. Tony, you ready to go home, man? Because I know I am.
Yes. Oh, wait, you got a lot. Is this the last minute one?
Oh, there was one more? Oh, yes, there was. He says, Mike. What did he say? Mike, there was a W. Smith. Oh, my God. Then there was Mike and Jordan Mason. Epic. I almost dropped Kanan when I heard that. Be blessed. Man, look, I don't what's W. Smith? I don't even know who that was. Who there was W. Smith. Who was Smith? Who was W. Smith?
Oh.
Jordan Mason. Look, all I know is this. There was a guy that was a good pass catcher for the 49ers, okay? I messed up. I said the wrong name. I called the wrong name. I'm okay with that. I know who I was talking about. It happened to be Mason. I mean, not Mason. Hasty. That's not what he's talking. Wait, that's not what he's talking about. Will Smith? It's the hair? What? I don't know what they're I don't know. Guys, god dang it. Sean, I can't decipher this right now, man. I don't know what you're trying to say, but I love you and I appreciate you. I love Kanan. I pray for you guys daily, man. I hope you guys are doing well. I pray for your family. I pray for good things for all of our viewers out there, man. There's a lot of you guys that are on my prayer list, and I do not say that tongue in cheek. All right. I say that with all sincerity. My guy Troy is out there. He is on my prayer list. Sean is there. Casey is on the prayer list. I don't even know if you guys know who that is. I don't think she comments in the live. She told me she's in here. Amber is on the prayer list. There's a lot of you guys that I really go out of my way. And when I do my daily prayers, I read those names off. And I appreciate you guys. All right. So all I know is this, just stay tuned. We're going to have more shows for you guys. If you're not on the Patreon, you're missing more good stuff over there. So make sure you guys check it out. I literally will be in the middle of doing a show and just pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, yo, what do you think about this? And they're like, yo, what are you talking about? Hey, I'm live. Don't say anything bad. Just answer my question and I'll let you go. Like, those are the kind of things you get over on the Patreon. So make sure you guys get on over there. I appreciate you all. You guys be safe. 49er Chanel, I see you, man. You be good too. Chanel was on my prayer list. Oh my goodness. There's so many people. And I have no problem. I'll read 1,000 names a night if I feel like it'll help. All right. So you guys continue to subscribe, continue to rate, review, and let us know what your thoughts are. Shoot us an email if you have topics that you want us to discuss. My man Tony is here. I am here. Wayne is here. And believe it or not, NY to the Bay is here as well. All right. And guys, when draft time rolls around, we're going to be here. This is the place you want to be. Don't miss out. That's all I can say. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tony, have you ever had halal wings? Or halal food? It's like, so halal means like it's made from like, oh, how do I explain it? It's not like
we had it in California.
We had what in California?
Halal guys.
That was the name of the place. Was it halal food?
I don't think so. False advertisement if it's not, no? I don't know.
I mean, All right, so you could be right. You could be right, but that is any food product that is prepared with Islamic law and in accordance to the Quran. There's no pork, there's no alcohol, there's no like nasty products in it. The food texture is just different. And there's a place down the street from me that has halal wings. The chicken falls off the bone, bro. It was so damn good, Tony. Now, I haven't tried their boneless. I know you're a boneless guy. That is next up. I'll try it, and I'll let you know how it is. But halal chicken wings on the bone, mwah, A+. Absolutely A+. So, guys, we'll see you soon. Tony, let's go home, man. I'm tired, bro. Prepare for glory.
Too. Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
We're out of here, guys. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us,